Hello everybody watching this. Today I am bringing you Asian style chicken feet, my version of how to do them. I know some of you will probably be looking at this right now, screwing your face up in disgust and horror, but there are some people out there, and a lot of people, that do eat chicken feet, and I'm showing you a nice, not so quick, but a nice easy recipe for you to do should you want to eat chicken feet. Some of you probably already do. There's a lot of Asian people that do, a lot of different cultures that do. So let's begin. So I bought a bag of these chicken feet at my local butcher, all nicely cleaned, as you can see. So what we want to do, we want to boil these, and what I've got is to go with it later on is some Chinese cooking wine, a bit of ginger, lemongrass, olive oil, bit of soy sauce, sesame seed, chili, sweet chili sauce, some of this Asian herbs, garlic and soy, because everything's in it, saves me having to crush things. Some fried onions, dried fried onions for the end. Okay, let's start. So what we want to do is we want to boil these off for a bit. We want to par-cook them, not so they are totally soft, otherwise they'll fall apart completely. So we want to get these boiling. I don't know what's going on with our water pressure lately, but bear with me. So I'm not going to put anything in this because the sauce that they're going to be finished off in is going to be quite salty with all the soy sauce and everything else that's going in it. So you want to cook those off. You want to boil them. Okay guys, so this has had 10 minutes, a nice steady simmer on the stove, just to soften these guys up. You don't want to overcook them because they will fall apart, and you don't want them to fall apart. Hopefully I haven't steamed up my lens too much. Okay, so you want to drain it off. You don't need to keep the boiling water unless you want to really save, and you can make stock out of it if you want. Okay, we want to cool these right down. Get yourself a really nice clean towel, because I'm going to dry the chicken feet off as much as possible in these, and then they will need to dry off quite a fair bit, because if you don't dry them off, because they're going to go into boiling oil to fry them off. So if you've got too much moisture still going on in them, you are going to have oil exploding everywhere in the kitchen. It's inevitable that some of it's going to happen, but you don't want them wet, otherwise you'll cause yourself serious injury, or either have a huge giant mess in your kitchen. Okay, stick them in your towel. Oops. Thought I'd put some nice Chinese music on for you to go with the Chinese chicken feet. Okay, I could spend more time with that, but I won't. So stick them on your tray. Like I said, you can do this overnight to let them really dry out. Or if you don't have air conditioning and if you have a fan, stick them under a fan for a while, uncovered. Obviously make sure you don't have flies buzzing around the house everywhere, because that just wouldn't do. Okay, so they're on my tray. I'll sit them up there. I don't have flies because I've got everything closed up, so they will dry out nicely, however long it's going to take you to dry up. Okay, so I will come back once they are dry. These are dry, like I said, if you can dry them overnight, even better. So what you want to be doing next is get yourself a pair of scissors or a knife, either one, and you want to be cutting off the claws without popping them everywhere. Put my little trap in there so they don't go down the sink and the dogs can have them afterwards. So you just want to cut all the claws off. I've already got my oil heating up on the stove in the wok. If you don't have a wok, just use a pot or your deep fryer, whatever you've got. Okay. You want to barricade yourself. Alright, and here we go. And just let them fry right down until it's just a gentle fry for those. Keep the lid on, otherwise your kitchen is going to be a huge mess. They're almost ready. You can see that the bubbles have simmered right down. Still be very careful because it sounds like there might be an explosion still left in there, so do be careful. And you can see, if I can get that close enough without dripping oil everywhere, you can see how it's crisping up, nice crispy chicken. Okay, that's almost died right down to nothing, so they can come out. I'll just stick them back in the pot. I did wash up the pot that I boiled the chicken off in. And you're ready to go for the next lot. Oops. Okay. I got it. And no injuries. My whole stove area is one big giant oil slick, but don't worry about that. Okay, oil off. You don't need that anymore. What you want to do with your feet is give them a little bit of a soak. I might leave them in there for 5 minutes, and I will be back. So once they've sat 5 or 10 minutes in some water, just drain them off, and that's what we've got. Doesn't that look appetizing? I bet you're saying, hell no it doesn't. But I can assure you they are tasty if you're into that sort of thing. Okay, so they can dry in there. In the meantime, I have cut up some spring onions, shallots, whatever, as I said before, whatever they're called in your neck of the woods, fine and dandy. So just chopped, roughly chopped, just to throw in at the last minute. And this is where the fun begins. Okay, a little bit of oil in my wok. You want to throw all of these in together while it's warm, not warm, cold as such. And then you start throwing all your bits in that you want in there. Okay, I showed you my selection that I've got. Anything that you have at home to taste, I'm only putting a little bit of this lemongrass olive oil in just to give it a bit of taste. Don't want it too high right now. I've got my dark soy, and that's why I didn't put any salt in it. A bit of the Chinese wine. Oop. There you go. Again, everything to your taste that you want to put in there. I love this taste of sesame oil. Some people say, oh, don't put too much in it, it overwhelms it. Put in whatever suits you and is tasty for you. If you don't have sweet chili sauce like this, just put in some chili flakes and some honey and you're probably right to go. A bit of this Asian herbs and garlic soy, only because I found it in the cupboard, don't know where it came from, but I'm going to chuck some in there anyway. I don't have white vinegar, preferably white vinegar. I like malt vinegar. I don't think it will make a huge difference to the taste. It'll just give it a more mellow taste. Just some, like you would with your pork spare ribs if you were to make them, if you make them. And because I'm feeling lazy, I have got minced garlic already. Do however much you want in there. I put vinegar in there, didn't I? Okay. And just a little bit of water, maybe a cup of water. It all depends on how much you're making. But you can see, if you can see that okay. It's a bit hard to see because I have my camera on my chest, angled at where the food is, so it's hard for me to see. I think you can see I've got roughly half. I could possibly put a little bit more water in there, I think. Just so everything cooks right down. Stir everything right up in there. And you can see already all the different soy and all the different stuff is making it look far more appetizing than it did before. So I will, that is on just under high heat, between medium and high heat. Lid on. Let it cook and let it stew. Obviously, if it's starting to cook too much, turn your heat down. You want it on a medium simmer type sort of thing, not savage where it's going to bust up all the meat. So you want that to reduce right down so the sauce becomes really sticky and coats the chicken. Have I been saying chicken wings? I hope not. Chicken feet. Okay, we're back, guys. I've let this simmer for about an hour until you can see now that we're pretty much well reduced right down. Don't try and reduce the sauce down too quickly, otherwise the chicken feet will still be too tough on the bone. you want it falling apart, similar to how if you're cooking chicken wings, you want a similar thing here. So this is pretty much done. So I'll turn that off. Set fire to the house. Throw your spring onions. You can throw coriander, cilantro, I think, in different parts of the world. I'm saving a little bit just as a bit of garnish. And just stir it all in. Once you've turned off the heat, you still want that nice fresh spring onion through it all. And let's see if my dish is going to be big enough. I got a pie dish only because I want it for aesthetics. So it looks pretty when I photograph it. Oop. There goes one for the dog. Be careful, Ralph, it's going to be bloody hot. And it does all fit. Ralph, go away. Go, 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 go. Ralphie. There you go. Dogs at there me. Is my Asian, I'll call it Asian because I've just thrown everything in there. Asian chicken feet. Make sure you do simmer it down for at least an hour in the last process because it will loosen everything up. And you can sprinkle some fried onions over the top when you're ready to serve. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are watching, you're watching because you're trying to get the recipe. Give it a try and see how you go. It is very tasty. And thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.